Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live open event at the Academy of Hair and Beauty at West Suffolk College. My name is Marnie Randall. I'm the head of department here, and I look after our students and our staff. And I have with me, accompanying me, my two team leaders. Gemma Squirrel, if you'd like a little wave, Gem. So Gemma Squirrel is our team leader for hairdressing and barbering, and then Vicky Crichton, by way of the fact that she's the only other person left, is our team leader for beauty therapy and makeup artistry. So you're very, very welcome. And the purpose of tonight is to introduce ourselves as managers of the department, and also to answer any questions that you might have about your qualification and potentially the courses that you might be studying this time next year. So we're happy to answer questions about the qualification structure. We're happy to answer questions about delivery, how we deliver. We can talk to you about uniform, kit that you might want to buy. We can talk to you about the subjects that you might study on any of the 4 subject areas. So we cover hairdressing, barbering, beauty therapy, and makeup artistry. And we can also give you a little bit of an insight as to what it's like to be a student in the academy, studying a very practical, hands-on subjects. We can share with you information about work placement and employer engagement, and how you need to be aware of the industry that you're going to be working in. We can also talk to you about how long you might need to be studying in order to get your qualification. And we can answer any questions, really, anything really. We're quite knowledgeable about our subjects. So fire away, answer some questions, ask us some questions.
So Marnie, there is a question in the box already on how a course is operating due to COVID.
Okay, so that is obviously a tricky one to start with. Thank you for that. I suppose we're looking at practical qualifications, and practical qualifications that involve working on members of the public and working on clients and customers. And at the moment, because of our industry being in lockdown, we obviously don't have clients coming into the salons at the moment. And even in this, in industry, they're not able to provide services. So what we're doing at the moment is we're focusing on the underpinning knowledge and the theory that is behind all of those services. We're preparing videos, and we have live links to videos where we share with students exactly what they need to do in order to perform the services. Some of the services they can work on tuition heads, on materials that are replacements. So we have artificial hands, we have artificial heads and shoulders, artificial tuition heads for hairdressing and barbering, male head and female head. And we can deliver qualifications and the theory behind it. Unfortunately, at the moment, we can't do the hands-on work at the moment. But we do have plans to add extra sessions and support sessions for students that are in place at the moment. And we will roll with the punches. We'll find a way to make sure that you understand what's required of you in the industry. Do you ladies would like to add to that or not?
No, I think students are getting really used to it. They're quite enjoying the transition of being online, and it's a new way for everyone. And I think everyone's taken that on board. Mm-hmm. We're still doing practical as and when we can, as much as we possibly can. Some tutors are doing live tuition, some tutors are doing videoed tuition as well. So there's lots and lots of different things going on across the department.
We've still been, hello everyone, fortunate enough to run employer engagement sessions. So last week we had Kryolin, who are a professional makeup brand that provide our makeup kits for our students across all levels 1, 2 and 3, and they were able to perform some live demonstrations of makeup. So we had their pro artist applying makeup on themselves, with somebody kind of narrating and fielding questions and answers. So the students found that really, really helpful. So we're still kind of actively engaging with practical skills with the students working from home as much as we can. And with regard to makeup artistry, the students are producing some really creative looks on their own faces or members of their households. So where we can, we're using that hands-on skill.
Okay, the next
so some people...
Sorry, the next question will about the entry requirements. What happens if I don't get my maths grade? So every course has a different criteria for the entry requirements that are needed, and dependent upon the course that you're applying for will depend on what you need to achieve. So if you've already had a look and seen what you need to achieve and you don't quite achieve that, there'll always be options to speak to the course director and look at other alternative courses in the same field. So I would advise that you just speak to whoever interviews you, or when it comes to results day, speak to the course director, and they will come up with an alternative to the course that you've applied for, or something that may interest you similarly.
Yeah. Just to add to that, I think because hairdressing and beauty therapy, because of our industry, it's very much geared towards students with, you know, confidence and big personalities and the ability to communicate. Communication is probably one of the largest skills, or one of the most important key skills that you need to have, is really good communication. And if you can show a course director that you are mature, that you have really good communication skills, that you have maybe some experience, maybe within your family, you might have, you know, family businesses that are within the industry. If you can communicate that to your course director, there may be possibilities that you can start on levels and resit English and maths. It very, very much depends on you, and your maturity actually makes a big difference. Some courses you just can't do, but you know, we're willing to have a conversation with you, so that's fine.
And then the next question was, do I have an interview after I apply? So yes, you will be interviewed after you've applied. It will be on Skype, so we'll phone you, and admissions will send you a date with your interview date and time. So shall we just go? Do you want me to carry on?
Any more questions?
So someone has asked, what is the balance between practical and theory?
Vicky, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so depending upon which level you come to us in makeup artistry and beauty therapy, the week is divided into theory sessions and your practical lessons. Specifically with makeup artistry, you will not only be learning your makeup skills, but you will also be learning hair skills, and we divide that time equally across the week. So you'll have 50% makeup, 50% hair practical, and you will also do the same with your hair and makeup theory sessions, which support all your underpinning knowledge that you need in order to complete your qualification. In beauty therapy, you commonly have 3 practical sessions a week of your beauty therapy, where you'll be learning your facials, your waxing, your eye treatments, etc. And alongside that, you will have theory sessions, kind of separate theory sessions, where you learn your anatomy and physiology and all the health and safety, the legislations relevant to the beauty therapy industry. So practical and theory sit alongside one another. Your week is made up of slightly more hours of practical because you need that hands-on time and you need to be working on each other and practicing. And your theory sessions are normally really focused, quite intense. We've got lots to get through to get you prepared for your theory examinations.
Yeah. And it's almost the same, isn't it, for hairdressing and barbering? The qualifications are very much geared towards practical, but you can't be a good therapist, a hairdresser or barber unless you understand the underlying principles behind what you're doing. So theory is very important. Yeah.
Okay, Marnie, this is probably for you.
Okay.
When are we able to be on site? What kind of facilities are available?
Okay, if you go onto the college website, you should be able to see a virtual tour of our facilities. And if not, we can send that out to you later, the virtual tour of the facilities. You can see that the classrooms and salons are set up like professional salons. And as soon as we can, we'd love to have you in to show you around. We can, and if that happens in a group or if that happens individually, if you're deciding where you're going to study, depending on the facilities you want to be in or the facilities that you'd be working in, and actually we don't have an open day available, but you'd like to come in and visit us, then, and we're open to the public, then of course come and visit us, make an appointment and come and see us.
Thank you. The next one on there is, can you help us with industry placements and work experience when COVID is over? Yes, we can definitely. We've got some excellent links with different hair salons, beauty salons, barbering, and we also have really great links with the Theatre Royal in Bury St Edmunds. A lot of our students for makeup artistry specifically go down and help with a lot of the shows when they're able to, and we also use our on-site theatre for that as well. So there are lots and lots of different options for that.
Also, just to say that we work very closely with Mr. Barbers, and Mr. Barbers has 20, actually they now have 30 shops, but they're not all locally around the Suffolk area, but they've got about 24 shops in the Suffolk and Cambridgeshire area. And they are very keen to have work placement students in in their salons, shops 1 day a week or half a day a week for work experience. So we can help with that. And at the moment, we're working on hair salons for the same sort of link. You know, obviously hair salons are a little quieter at the moment, but yeah, we can help. And we have a dedicated work placement officer that will help to communicate with you and actually create those links between yourself and the employer. So it's a kind of a two-way street. If you can find some and we can find some, and together between the whole team, we can find work placement for almost every student.
So are you looking at the cost of the makeup kits, Gemma? Yeah, so yeah, I'll answer that one. The cost of the kit can change from 1 year to the next, depending upon sort of quotes from our suppliers, and often we make changes to the kits to try to improve. But as a general rule of thumb, for level 2 makeup artistry, the cost of a kit, which includes all of your hair equipment as well as your makeup products and some tools and brushes, we usually have it around £300 to £400, but that includes things like hair dryers, straighteners, curling tongs, lots of products, combs, sectioning clips, a full Kryolan makeup kit, face painting kit and brushes, kind of everything you would need to get you through your qualification and to enable you to practice at home, to carry on completing your looks from home, which is so important at the moment. For level 1 makeup, if you end up coming onto us as a level 1 student, you wouldn't be required to purchase a kit. We would provide the products for you in the college. So for your sessions,
and that's the same across. Yeah, and that's the same across all level 1 programs. Yeah,
across the programs for beauty, for your hair. And then what we do is we can give you a kit list, because some of my level 1 students, for example, have taken it upon themselves to go off and purchase their own kit anyway, because they like the product so much and they want to practice more at home. So that's very much up to you. But level 2, yes, you would have to purchase a kit, and at level 1 we would provide the products for you. Should I speak about bursary, Marnie?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
We do have a bursary scheme available. So if you're eligible, it's based upon household income. There's further information on that on the West Suffolk College website, but you would be able to apply for a bursary to help cover the cost of your makeup kits and beauty kit and hair kit, etc. I hope that answers the question.
Just to add about bursary, so bursary will help provide some support, financial support, and every year the bursary rules are altered slightly, and they're altered because, and that's not to do with the college, that's to do with basically local funding, government funding, and that government funding will dictate what the bursary can cover. It's not us in the department or even us in the college saying what the bursary will cover, and every year that changes slightly, and it's altered every year to be slightly different rules. So if you have a sister or brother, or you have a friend who was on a course last year or the year before or whatever, just because they had bursary kit for X, Y, and Z doesn't mean you will. Also, if last year they didn't get it, you might get it next year. So the rules change every year as far as bursary is concerned, and you have to, when you're interested in coming onto a course, and when you've had your interview and we have then said, yes, okay, we'd love to have you on our program, then I would suggest that you go online and you apply for your bursary almost straight away. And that within that, it will tell you what your bursary will cover. And as I said, the rules change every year ever so slightly. So don't presume you know what it's going to cover. And also the amount will change every year. Sometimes it only covers travel. Sometimes it'll only cover kit. But whatever way round, between kit or bursary, we do our best to make sure that you have the materials you need to work in college. So even if the bursary doesn't provide a kit for you, we will make sure that we have enough pieces of equipment and tools that you can actually work and learn in college on site. We like students to buy their own kits because then you can go home and practice. And let's face it, it's one of those skills that's within your hands, so you need to practice. Every student needs to practice 2 or 3 times a week. So if you don't have a kit at home, it's very hard for you to keep on top of all of those skills and make sure that you're feeling confident, actually. So it's important.
I think most of our programs across hairdressing, beauty, barbering and makeup artistry are all based practically on pass, merit, distinction and distinction star. So it is really what you put in is going to be what you get out. That's why we ask you to practice at home and make sure you're confident with your skills and your techniques.
Yeah, very much.
So someone has asked, how many days a week will I study? So everyone's timetable will be slightly different across the department, depending on which course you're on. However, generally we try and keep it to 3 days in college, but just taking into account what Marnie has just said about practicing at home and what we've previously said about work experience, that would be on top of those days.
Yeah.
So someone said that they've applied a while ago but haven't had the interview or phone call. Does that mean that you don't have a place? No, it doesn't mean that you don't have a place. Normally what will happen is you will either be notified via email to say when your interview date is and when your phone call will take place. It might be worth just checking junk boxes of emails to see whether it's gone into there. If you're still concerned, contact the college and get through to admissions and see if they can have an interview date rebooked if it has passed.
Yeah, just keep in contact with us, and if you're worried at all, if you keep communicating with us, then we'll be able to help you.
Maddie has also put our virtual tour on already, so that's
cool.
to have
Lovely.
a look at. That's in the question and answers. Someone has asked when interviews are going to be taking place. So interviews have already started taking place. We started a couple of months ago now already. So as soon as you're applying, you should be getting interview dates through quite quickly.
We're interviewing this week, actually, aren't we? But we have been interviewing for a few weeks. I think we started mid-November for students that have applied towards the end of last year. So, yeah.
Okay, I think the next one can be for you, Vicky. What course will I need to take to qualify in lash and brow treatments?
So with regard to your lash and brow treatments, that would be your level 2 beauty therapy qualification, where you would learn how to tint the eyelashes and the eyebrows, how to tweeze the eyebrows and wax the eyebrows, and also we do the lash lift as well as part of your level 2 qualification. With regard to eyelash extensions, that comes in at level 3, so you then have to progress on to level 3 beauty therapy, and that's what we call an optional unit. It's kind of a bolt-on unit that's taught and delivered toward the end of your level 3 qualification in beauty. If you're interested in only working in lash and brow services upon qualifying, then you would obviously, once you leave college, be able to specialise in things like HD brow or microblading, but they're not services we offer at level 2 or level 3. What you would be qualified and competent in with us is your tinting, tweezing, waxing, your lash lift and your individual lash extensions. At level 2 as well, you're also taught how to apply your strip lashes and the individual cluster lashes that are just good for a night out. Okay, I hope that answers that for you.
And then we've got, how are the courses assessed?
Okay, I'll answer that one. So at the moment, it depends on what level you're on. If you're on level 1, the courses are assessed continuously. So there's continual assessment throughout the year. You have generally got controlled assessment situations where you need to research a subject and research a topic. You'll create drafts of assignment work, and then under controlled assessment, you'll complete that assessment. Practical assessments are visual observations, so You'll perform a task in front of an assessor, and they will grade your performance, and that's how that would work for a level 1 program. They would be continual assessments throughout the year. At level 2 and level 3, we offer technical qualifications, so technical certificates at level 2 and technical diplomas at level 3. And technical qualifications are generally assessed in one hit, if you like, at the end of a period of time. So your theory will be assessed through an exam that is similar to a GCSE A-level type exam. You'll get a certain number of topics that you need to understand, and they will be assessed through a externally set written test paper. Now that can be written or online, but generally it's externally assessed and externally marked. So we don't mark them and we don't set them. And there is a specific date that you must be at college in order to sit that exam. So again, it's not random, it's very specific. And that's for your level 2 and level 3. And that equates to about 35% of your qualification, 35 to 40, depending on the level on the course. But in general, then the other part of your qualification is a practical assessment, and we call that a synoptic assessment. And that synoptic assessment will assess every part of your skill level. So if you're doing hairdressing, for example, and you're really, really good at hair cutting, and you're quite good at blow drying, but you're terrible at hair up, then you won't necessarily pass the qualification. So you have to be quite good at everything. And that way then you're proving to an employer that when a client comes into a salon, you can basically do all of those skills. So your assessment for the technicals are through synoptic assessment towards the end of the year, generally the beginning of May. And all exams are uploaded and evidence put forward to City and Guilds by the end of May, beginning of June. And then you get your results in August with the rest of the students that get their GCSEs. So you don't know if you've passed or failed till August, but you'll have a good idea. You'll have a good idea of whether you've passed or failed, but you don't know what grade you can get. And actually the grades can be pass, merit, distinction, and distinction star. And I'm very proud to say that in our department, we have quite a few students get distinctions, and we get a few special students get distinction stars, and the vast majority of our students get higher grades. So it's mostly merits, distinctions, and some distinction stars, and we do have passes. Very, very, very few fail, but be aware you can fail. So your ownership of your qualification is very important. If you put in, like Gemma said earlier, whatever you put in is whatever you get out of it. So the harder you work, the higher your grade is going to be at the end. And if you don't put in any work at all and you coast along and barely kind of do what's asked of you, you're actually quite likely to fail because the qualification is graded and standardized across the whole country. So it's not what happens in West Suffolk College, but it's actually what's happening in the whole of the country for that qualification that sets the grade boundaries, just like GCSEs. So yes, just like you're getting used to for GCSEs.
Okay, our next question is, what is the uniform we would need to wear? So it's going to be different dependent on what qualification that you're on, what department you're in within Hairdressing Academy and barbering and makeup and beauty. But we do follow professional dress, and that is a huge expectation within our department, is professionalism and making sure that you are aware of what is professional in industry. So for example, in makeup artistry, we wear all black. We make sure that our shoes are in closed-toe shoes, and we make sure that we're presentable. In beauty therapy, Vicky, did you want to speak about beauty therapy?
Yeah, absolutely. So in beauty therapy, you have a set tunic. Okay, so if you decide to enrol upon the course, you'll be issued with an order form where you'll be able to order a tunic and trousers. So classic beauty therapy tunic with trousers, flat black enclosed toe shoes, and then we require the students to have your hair back in either a bun or tidy French plait. Okay, and no jewellery, just a pair of stud earrings, a nice clean day makeup, and absolutely no gel nail polish, no nail polish or acrylic nails, unfortunately. But we need you to look smart, presentable, and to be compliant with health and safety, and to mirror the beauty therapists in salon already in industry.
Yeah, so and then obviously for hairdressing we wear generally wear a tunic top with black trousers or black leggings. Actually in hairdressing they're allowed to wear leggings, but again for safety you must have enclosed shoes. Barbering tends to be less formal, as in less tunic and more of a polo top. And at level 3, when you get to level 3, you'll wear your own clothes but in black. So it kind of goes through the levels, totally depends on what level qualification you're doing, what course you're doing, and what, like Vicky says, it very much depends on industry. You wouldn't see a barber in a full tunic and trousers, but you definitely wouldn't see a beauty therapy in jeans and a top. So you have to reflect what happens in industry. And we don't work to the lowest standards of expectations, we work to the highest standards of expectations. So if you go to a high-end spa and your beauty therapists there look absolutely pristine and to the max, that's what we are teaching you to. So we don't teach to the lowest expectations, but the highest.
Okay, our next question is about the different units covered in beauty therapy. So another one for you, Vicky.
Yeah. Okay, so in beauty therapy, you'll cover 2 large theory units, which is anatomy and physiology, and another one called principles of practice for beauty therapists, which basically means you cover all of the health and safety legislation. You look at communication techniques, how to liaise and communicate with your colleagues, with clients, retailing, because retailing is a huge part of our industry once you work in a salon or a spa. So they're your 2 theory units, which you're assessed on for your written theory paper in March of your academic year. And then with regard to your practical units, you'll study facials, waxing, eye treatments, makeup, but the makeup unit is quite small. It usually runs for about 6 weeks, where you learn how to do a day makeup and an evening makeup. You will do manicures and pedicures. So the traditional manicure and pedicure with polish that takes a lifetime to dry, which not many people seem to have anymore, but it is still a market for it. So you'll learn how to paint nails with regular polish, and then you will also learn your gel manicure and pedicures too. So we use the Gelish system. I'm sure you've all heard of Gelish. There's so many brands out there, but we work with Gelish. So as part of your level 2 kit, you would purchase, or you'd have the option to purchase a lamp for yourself and a starter kit with the polishes and the tools that you would need to then be able to practice at home and hopefully offer it as a service. So they're the core units that you will cover. Alongside all your practical units, you will be learning the underpinning theory. So for everything from the skin, the layers of the skin, your skin types, your face shapes, right the way across the spectrum, thinking about waxing, the hair growth cycle, different kinds of hair. You will learn things you didn't think were relevant, that you didn't think you'd need to know at beauty therapy. It's incredibly in depth. So it's not just turning up and giving somebody a facial. Okay, it's all encompassing with your theory and your practical.
Can I just jump in there and say, actually, you really, guys, if you're going to do beauty therapy, you need to be interested in science. You need to have an interest in the functions of the body and the systems of the body, and you need to understand that understanding the scientific basis for all of those treatments is imperative. And I would suggest that you get your science GCSE and you work hard to understand the biology. It's very, very important. It's a huge part of beauty therapy, and I would say key. I would say very, very key to those students that are going to come in at level 2.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marnie.
Is the kit for makeup
cruelty-free
products?
Yeah, so with your makeup kits, I mentioned before, we work with a brand called Cryolin, and if you haven't heard of them, I suggest looking them up, doing some research. They were founded in Germany. They're over 70 years. They've been a brand for over 70 years. They supply film, TV, theatre, the arts, fashion, bridal. They work across the whole spectrum of makeup artistry. The brand itself does not test on animals, okay, but they're not 100% vegan because some of their products contain beeswax or carmine, which is a pigment derived from a beetle. However, they do not test any of their products on animals. It is worth pointing out that we do enrichment trips to MAC Cosmetics, who again, they personally don't test on animals, but they do sell their products in China, who do then test MAC products on animals. So there is some a little bit of controversy with MAC and their animal testing program. While they don't personally test their products where they sell in China, they will be tested on animals. So MAC is not considered a cruelty-free brand, but we do use some of their products in the college, and we do kind of shopping events with them. There are other brands we use. We try and always use cruelty-free. However, you may find that some brands that, you know, some of the palettes that I show you and other products may not be completely 100% vegan. With regard to your brushes, we use Zoeva brushes, so you're all issued when you're in college with a set of brushes. So I'll demonstrate with them, and then you'll then work on each other with them. The brush kits stay in the college, but you're able to use them. They are all 100% synthetic, so no animal hairs in those brushes. I hope that answers that for you.
Okay, Vicky, we've got another one in your way, but I can answer it if you want. What sort of makeup looks would we be doing? Special effects, body art, more colourful looks, or more neutral looks?
So everything you've mentioned in your question, we will be doing at level 2. Level 1, it's slightly more, you have a unit called basic makeup, so you just learn your day and your evening makeup, and then we do a unit in themed face painting, so learning kind of how to do a zebra, a lion, fantasy face paint, etc. At level 2, you have more creativity, it is more advanced. We still start from the beginning, how to prepare the skin, how to apply good day makeup and evening makeup. Then we go into using glitters, doing colourful, glamorous looks. We look at your kind of cut crease, Instaglam makeup. We do some bridal and bridesmaid makeup, so your occasion makeup. We then evolve into lots of eyeliner work, lots of lip work, so really perfecting your eyeliner, your eyeshadow, your smoky eye skills, and bringing looks together. We do bright editorial looks, and then we start on your face painting unit. So you do a face and upper body art at level 2. So basically anything from the kind of midriff upwards you would be expected to paint. So arms, backs, torsos, and the face as well. And you're assessed on your face and body art as well as your hair and makeup skills when we come to your final assessments. And finally, once we've got all of those units delivered, we have some fun and we do special effects. And that's where you'll learn how to do burns, cuts, scars and bruising. So that's always a popular topic.
And then we've got, what are the cost of tunics? So again, it does differ sort of yearly, dependent on the supplier and the style of tunic that we choose. Obviously, you need to think about how many days you're in college and how many tunics you will need, obviously washing them in between visits to college, but generally they're around £25. Okay. If you're in beauty, obviously you'd need to consider the trousers as well. Okay. Someone has asked, can they ask the same questions about the units in hairdressing? Yes, of course. So hairdressing is a little bit different at level 2 in that you study over 2 years. So it's broken down into colouring and perming in 1 year, and then you do your cutting and styling in the next year. Marnie, did you want to talk a little bit more about?
Well, I suppose it's important that the qualification is broken down into 2 years, because in hairdressing, you could specialise as a cut and blow dry stylist only in a salon, or you could specialise as a colour technician, colour and perm technician in a salon only. And that's why the qualification is broken down into 2 separate years or 2 separate qualifications. To be fully qualified, you need to do both years. There are units that are in both years. So some units like Unit 201, which is your consultation, and also all of the underlying principles and practices of hairdressing and barbering are in all of the years. The styling, which is in every year, but then there's obviously specialist units in colouring and perming and then in cutting. At level 2, you're going to study subjects to do with the types of styling, so techniques for styling, techniques for blow drying, techniques for setting, techniques for dressing the hair. Cutting the hair, you'll have 4 underlying principles of 4 different haircuts, but then you've got lots of variations to those haircuts, and you've got to learn how to adapt them for different hair types and different classifications. So the hair comes in 4 different classifications with about 12 different sub-classifications, and you've got to be able to understand those as well. So there's a lot to learn theory-wise in hairdressing in both years, but very much with hairdressing, the skills that you might learn are muscle memory. So if you learn how to do a haircut or you learn how to do a blow dry, you must repeat that skill over and over and over and over and over to be good at it, because your hands must be, it must look like and feel like second nature by the time you get to your synoptic exam. And the skills you need to repeat are those where you're using your hands for everything. And they're the most valuable tools you've got actually in hairdressing, are your hands, because you use them for everything. So it's important that you do repeat what you're learning over and over. And every lesson is going to design so that it's set to challenge individuals. So in a group of maybe 20 students, some students will find practical skills quite easy, and then other students will find that skill difficult, and then you might move on to another subject, and actually the students revert around, and what one student found easy, another person can't find really hard. So it is a bit of a try and see. You know, we'll teach you to have those skills, you'll have a go, you'll have to keep practicing them. And then by the time you get to the end of your year or the end of your 2 years, you have good quality skills in your hands across both qualifications.
Okay. Someone has asked, or they've applied for makeup artistry, would it be helpful to see the makeup that they've done in the past? Yes, definitely. We'd love to see that your work. As soon as we're able to meet you in person, we'd love to see your portfolio of all of the skills that you've built up practicing at home. That would be brilliant. Thank you. And
if you do have an interview beforehand, and we can do it face to face, if we manage to be able to do it, even, I mean, virtual face to face, if we manage to do it over Teams or Skype and we can see you and you have a portfolio, have it ready to show.
Our next one, with makeup, would we be practicing on others or doing it on ourselves? So at the moment, students are having to work a lot of the time on themselves because of COVID and the different regulations that we need to follow. However, in normal times, you would be working on someone in the group, and that would be swapped each time you come in, so that you're working on a different face, you're looking at different features as well.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that?
Just to say, it's really important that you embrace working on different faces, and that you also embrace being worked on. So it's all very well being able to do someone else's makeup, but you have to return the favour and sit as a model and be willing to have your makeup done every single practical session. So just to kind of add that it's not too much value in coming in with a full face of makeup on, as lovely as it looks, because it just gets removed quite shortly after entering my lessons. So yeah, my suggestion is to come in with minimal, if not any makeup, because you will commonly be having your makeup done, which there's worse things in the world. I'd quite like to sit and have my makeup done every week.
And actually it's the same for hairdressing. You know, there's no point in being good at doing your own hair. That isn't what the qualification is about. And actually it's not what any of the qualifications are about. You're not learning a qualification so that you can go at home and do your own makeup and your own hair. This qualification is purely about your ability to perform services on members of the public and paying public. So, you know, it's important that you understand that your qualification is not just about skills. Your qualification is about your ability to communicate with another human being. It's your ability to establish what they require from their service. It's your ability to be empathetic, to understand that the clients that you're working with have underlying concerns and worries and stresses about the services that you might be providing. And you are learning ultimately how to take the skills that you have in your hands, whether that be makeup or hair or barbering or whatever, and you can read your customer. And that customer or that client feels comfortable with you and confident with you. And that is what you're learning. You're not learning makeup. You're not learning hairdressing. You're learning how to provide services to paying customers and to help build relationships with your customers. That's the point of your job. You need to be building relationship with your customers, with your clients, making them feel happy and comfortable and confident in the services that you know. And that is the point of your job. And that is the point of coming to college to learn a qualification. That's the point. And those students that pick up on that part, that actually they're good with customers and good with human beings and are able to communicate and are able to read and have empathy with your clients, those are the best students and end up with the distinctions. So that is my final little word, I would say. Ladies, would you like to add anything?
No, exactly covered exactly what we thought. There was just one more question about body art. Not having experience with body art, that's absolutely fine. You're taught everything within the makeup qualification to give you that experience and to give you the confidence to create a different look. It might be something that you want to have a go at before, but it is covered in the qualification.
We're not asking for you to come to us with any qualifications or any experience. We're happy to teach everybody from scratch. You don't have to have any prior knowledge. All we ask is that you come to the department with hard work ethic, prepared to learn, you engage and you buy into it and you take ownership of your qualification. If you want to learn it, we'll teach you everything we know, and we know lots. We have in the team, we have over 20 members of staff in the team that have worked in industry for many years all across Great Britain. We have people in the staff that have worked for national, international companies and worked all over Europe and in America. So you've got a wide variety of staff that want to teach you stuff. You just have to want to learn it, and then we'll tell you. All right. So thank you very much for your attention. It's been a real joy to talk to you tonight, and have a nice, good evening and stay safe, won't you? Thank you.
Thank you.